All right, Danny, right off the bat, my friend, who are your biggest flops this year, 2024, 2025 Premier League? Go.
So this is my short list. I picked top of my head the four that I really um, they just ring an alarming bell in my head.
Mhm.
Son, maybe he had a season filled with injuries and issues, but still to me he really did underperform. And we'll talk more later if it's a team thing or individual thing. Odegaard, ever since he took that cute picture with the camera, he's been completely um, I don't want to say irrelevant, but he's been extremely,
Underrated.
extremely underwhelming. Let's just put
Yes.
it there. Phil. Foden, there's a lot to talk about, which we'll get to. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a massive disappointment in so many different areas, whether it's on or off the field. And then we have Marcus Rashford, who, again, I guess the expectations moving into the seasons might have been somewhere, and then we definitely did not even come close to hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
So from just those four, those are this is my rank, my top four. We'll start with fourth pick, which is Rashford. One of the reasons he's fourth is because the three in front of him have managed to really have an awful, awful, awful season that they can just naturally be ahead of him. But don't get it twisted. Yes, he has made his move out of United, and yes, he's had his spark here and there. We won't ignore that. But coming into the season, and for the amount of seasons that he's played for in England, it's just no breakout season yet. No, even a consistent season. Essentially, nothing. He was just another winger in a sadly failing United organization, which is obviously something that we're not going to talk about today.
But he redeemed himself when he went to Villa, so I guess he had half a good season. This is why he comes up at fourth.
He had, I wouldn't say half. I would say, maybe 6 to 7 game weeks out of 38. When you say Marcus Rashford, you would expect more than that. Yes, if you look at he has 95 points as of the recording of this video. But the reality is, you would still expect more from the man, and that's why to me he's at number four. I don't think he is top three. We call him an honorable mention to the top three, which brings us to our third pick, Son. This is a player that in an 8 or a 10 man draft would go first round. Would you agree, GP?
Yeah,
He's up
usually.
there. Maybe in an 8 man league he would be passed on, and it'd be just beginning of the second round. But for a 10 man league, the expectation is that Son is the main man, the main target for
Spurs.
Tottenham.
Thomas.
Yeah, you can say that they brought him a big number 9, which is what Son was definitely looking for. So now there's more excitement. Son is going to be creating more, and we'd expect that Solanke would be just hitting the goals from all angles. But the reality is we didn't see that, and we saw a failing Spurs team in general. But the injury crisis, and maybe he's just getting older, but the injury crisis this year was unimaginable. In our draft, as you're well aware, we have one of our players. He has Foden and Son, which is a
Mhm.
fantastic position to be in. Back in August, you looked at that team and said, this is a team where if Foden and Son hit at their standard level, this team is just a freak of nature. But Son at 127 points, not in your top 10. And to me, he missed by a
He missed a
lot.
lot of games. Yeah.
Which brings us to the cameraman, Odegaard. He had a great season last season, and this year he has disappointed so much that it's so much more than Phil in terms of points if you look at it, but not to that level. I think Arsenal have regressed a little bit from last year, and maybe Odegaard has suffered from an injury crisis in the middle, but he also suffered from maybe playing a little bit deeper than he did last year. And that kind of didn't put him in a good position to be scoring or making those dime
Yeah,
assists.
the tactics were different for sure from Arteta. Also, he missed Saka for 3 months from Jan to April, and that you can also say that that hindered him. But still, 2 goals, 8 assists, 2 goals from your one of your stars at Arsenal going for the league is just not good enough.
And that's the reality. It is not good enough, and he is an upset. I mean, again, the individual that we have in our league that has Odegaard, he's currently sitting towards the end because as a first round pick, absolute disappointment. I believe Mo has 3 times the points that Odegaard has, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even more. I think it's more now. I don't know the number on top of my head, but you look at it and you say, well, how is this how are you equating this as a number 1 pick? And that's why he was there. Again, I'm sure Arsenal having a disappointing season also is not going in his favor for this specific situation. Which brings us to my number 1. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show everybody something. These are Foden's stats, cumulative stats for the entire season. Again, with the game week 37 and 38 not being played, he has 104 points, which doesn't even crack him in the top. I want to say 60. He has 7 goals and 3 assists, and totaling 10 bonus points. The reason you might wonder why I have the bonus points in there, it kind of tells you how many times he actually, bossed the game. He took the game by storm and was maybe the man of the match. And if you look back, it's actually only 2 games. And there's only 1 game the whole season where he came out with more than 15 points.
Yeah.
Now, this is shocking and alarming from your player of the year. This was the player of the year. This is the player that I had last year on my draft. And he was one of the main reasons I actually won draft last year. I had him, and I just had Cunha and Hakuna Matata up front, and those were the guys that kept on delivering. Yes, he was a surprise last year. I don't think anybody expected him to do the amazing numbers that he put up last year. But let's look at last year's numbers. So we went from 7 goals and 3 assists. Now you're looking at 19 goals and 8 assists and 31 bonus points.
Yeah, night and day.
To put the context, the context is absolutely nuts. The bonus points he had last year represents 1/3 of his total points this year.
Yeah, crazy. And it's such a drop off.
It's a drop off, and the question I have for you, JP, and it's a question that's been going on in my mind, and I know this is a video that we're going to be bringing up soon, is do you think this was because of the team level, or do you feel his individual quality has dropped?
So there are a lot of factors here. He had a crazy season last season, but if you remember the season before, he started off well, but then Guardiola, he even publicly admitted that Foden was on the naughty step. And that was a big language that everybody used, that maybe off the field, maybe in training, Foden wasn't up to Guardiola's satisfaction. So after that, you can tell that maybe the mentality is not machine. Like he can go up and down. There's stuff maybe off the pitch, mentality-wise, I mean. And then I think, for me, the biggest reason for his drop-off is the Euros. He went away with England, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, PFA Player of the Year, all of that jazz, and then he disappointed. And then the media was brutal on him during the summer. And you guys know how the English media operates. So he came back late. Physically, he wasn't fit. But more than that, he was carrying injuries. And on top of that, the mentality, he found it tough to pick up his mentality after what happened in the summer. So all of that combined, and he was not in a good shape. Plus, you add the external factors of the City team being in disarray and tactically not secure, and it was just a recipe for disaster. So no wonder when you put all of these ingredients together that he had a bad season. But to have that bad of a season where you only score double returns in 2 games and you said 7 goals. 4 goals of these games happened in 2 matches. So technically, he scored in only 4 games. Yeah, crazy. Or 5 games, but still so bad, so bad.
And that's why he's the number 1 flop for me this year. No matter what he does in the remaining, the remaining.
You're number 1.
But that's about it. Which that was kind of like what was on my mind for this week. Now, what was on my mind to ask you for this week would be.
Okay, what is this, Danny?
So this year, Bournemouth has been a sensational team, attacking wise.
Yeah.
Actually, defensively, they've been doing very well. So my question that I had for you, because we've been talking about them in length, is these are the big bad boys, the 4 main guys, and I wanted to know your rankings for the 4 and why you had them in that order.
I think this is a good idea for next year draft. If you guys are targeting Bournemouth attackers, who should you go for? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you my list. It can be a little bit controversial, but I will tell you guys why I think that these are my top 4. Okay? And number 1 is actually Ivan Nilsson, the striker.
Ivan Nilsson is your first choice.
Yeah. So if we can go to the next slide, I'll explain to you why. Now, this can raise a few eyebrows because my man doesn't have a lot of points. But if you factor in that he was injured for a big part of the season, from game week 20 to game week 26, okay? And the fact that he's as nailed as you can get after they sold Dom Solanke, he's your number 9. He leads the press very well. He's a machine, and all attacks lead towards him. He's the tip of the spear. So yeah, even though he scored 124 points, he had 10 goals and 5 assists with really good numbers, 11.6 expected goals and 1.7 expected assists. So he overachieved his assists, but he was very potent. And again, this is all having missed 6 games of the season. So this is why he's my number 1. My number 2. This also was not easy, but okay. I will give number 2 to Justin Kluivert for me. So Justin Kluivert, the biggest draw for me is that he's had the season of his life, and also he's on penalties, which goes a very long way. Now, somebody may take a look and say, why did you put Kluivert 2 and not 1? Is because he's on penalties. He scored 12 goals and 6 assists, but 6 of those goals were from penalties. And in one match, he scored 3 penalty goals, a hat-trick of goals. So this is why he goes to number 2.
Do you know who had the 3 assists for the penalties?
Our number 1 man.
Our number 1, Ivan Nilsson. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, 3 assists and 3 penalty goals. Now, Semenyo, maybe controversially, comes in on number 3. He's a lot of people's probably talisman for Bournemouth, but I disagree with that. I think Bournemouth, they can share the load a lot. The creativity is shared amongst those 4 guys. But for me, Semenyo loves to shoot. He shoots for fun, He's also good because he's left-footed and right-footed. He's 2-footed, can play on either wing, and he takes a ton of shots, but he misses a lot of those shots. So if my man Semenyo becomes more accurate with his shooting, then he can jump up the list. But for now, he's at number 3, 9 goals and 7 assists, 147 points. And then
some people say that he underachieved. What would you say to that?
I agree. He was wasteful. I watched a lot of Bournemouth. He gets a lot of looks, good opportunities, but he still misses the target a lot. If he can work on his finishing skills, then he can be a force, and he can be a very dangerous player. But for now, he's dangerous without the end product, the elite end product. So he's in that category just under elite. So this is why he goes into 3rd for me.
Okay. And your 4th pick was Marcus at 82 points. So can you walk me through why he made it to the top 4 with just a few measly 82 points?
So Marcus also missed a lot of games from injury. For injury, yeah, he missed around 8 games. He was also not nailed sometimes. But then, if you look at his stats, he actually has very good underlying numbers. The problem with Marcus is kind of similar to Semenyo. He underachieves on his expected goals. So again, he misses the target. He's not very clinical. But as an assist machine, he scored he got a 7 assists, and he's very creative. He has a wand of a left foot. His delivery is great. His crossing is great, fantastic. He gets into good positions. He's just not clinical. So he's creative, but he's number 4 for me. And before we go, I'll give you guys a bonus. Let me rank my 4 actually Bournemouth bench guys. Okay.
Okay.
So the subs. Okay. I have Django Unchained first on the bench.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
And he can threaten these guys next season. But for me, he's the first guy off the bench. And then I have Enis Unal.
Okay.
No, sorry. Then I have David Brooks, and then Enis Unal, and then at the end it will be Sinisterra. So there you go. Those are my Bournemouth rankings.
Beautiful.
Cherries.
Well,
huh? What we've been doing, Danny, is we've been doing cherry picking. So let's go
cherry picking at the top.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, that's good. That was the and where do you think Bournemouth ends for the season? There's only 2 games left. Where do you think they end for the season? And the last question I'll have, which will make it quick, is what would their target signings be for the summer?
Yeah, so Bournemouth have a tough game away at City after their FA Cup final, and then they have Leicester at home. So Leicester at home is a good game to finish off the season. They were flirting with, Europe for most of the season, but they had such a drop-off after that FA Cup loss to Man City. Now they're sitting at 10th. Can they realistically challenge Brighton and Brentford for a European spot? They're only 2 points behind. So results have to go their way. Brentford have good fixtures. Even Brighton has better fixtures because Bournemouth plays City. So with a slice of luck, they can sneak into conference. But for now, it's just mid-table, I'm afraid.
Amazing. Awesome. No, go ahead if you had any last...
No, I'm just, in terms of the summer, I think they're deep attacking like we just established, but I think Dean Howson is the revelation at center back position. He's getting a lot of interest from a lot of people. Real Madrid maybe even want him, Liverpool, Arsenal, a lot of rumors. So if they sell Dean Howson, then they need to replace him. I would say that's their priority.
Okay. All right. Amazing. Let's look at the waiver picks for this game week. We don't have that many, and I know it's kind of winding down. But JP, walk us through your main 4 or 5 that you've had for us and your reasoning.
Yeah, number 1, I want to start, guys, with Marcos Asensio. So now, I would not have nominated him except for Jacob Ramsey getting a red card. And we know already that Rashford is injured for a while. So now Asensio should get minutes. Last game, he played 69 minutes. He had 1 shot, 0.1 XG. He actually had a nice shot from outside the box, which hit the post. So he's dangerous. He'll play the number 10, and especially with Ramsey out, he will get good minutes. If you guys don't have him available, and according to your risk appetite, you want to go ballsy, then John McGinn will play instead of Ramsey next game. So this is my first one.
All right, next one.
Yeah, the next one is Akanji, actually. So we shouted him out last week because of I had a feeling that Nico Riley will be benched and Akanji will get the minutes, which happened. And then Guardiola went to his best position, which is left back. I think Pep Guardiola wanted to see that before the FA Cup final. And I feel like the experiment with O'Reilly is now at its end. He's not going to risk it again.
Okay.
If you guys look at his stats against Southampton away, amazing in attacking sense. He had 4 shots, 2 on target, and 0.5 expected goals. So, and he had 1 tackle. I think Pep now trusts him. He played 90 minutes. There's no fitness issues. Fingers crossed. So, and we know City have good fixtures to end the year. They're going for Champions League. So he would be another good one if you guys have him available in your league.
Yeah, that 0-0 game is probably something that not a single individual would have expected. And yet, Akanji comes out on top with being very, very in terms of impact. He was definitely up there and maybe threatened a bit more than Haaland, believe it or not. But
yeah, I was
I
waiting
did
for a
the
leak, but I still gambled and I got him in, and he rewarded me with a clean sheet against Southampton. And on a different day, he would have scored as well.
you would have hauled, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, up next, and this is a one that I'll need a bit of explanation from you.
Yeah, it's a good one though. Michael Keane. So, guys, sadly, Keane has been just at the end of a lot of jokes and a lot of, I would say, abuse and negativity from even his own fans. They didn't like him at all, even under Daesh. However, he redeemed himself. So that arc is really nice. He came in because O'Brien was a late call. He got injured on Friday night, and we know that Tarkovsky is injured already. So Michael Keane came from the dead, and just like a phoenix, he rose up again, literally rose up and headed the ball in to score one goal. He had 2 shots, one on target, 0.2 xG. He also had 5 interceptions, and he played the full 90. Now, David Moyes called him immense in his post-match, and he kept singing his praises. So Michael Keane would be a good gamble for you guys. However, I would wait for the press conference on Friday or on Thursday, depending on when Moyes will speak, to see if Jake O'Brien is still injured. But here's the good thing: he dropped Nathan Patterson, and he played Ashley Young. So even if O'Brien is back fit, there is a high chance that O'Brien goes to the right back and Keane continues at center back. All right. So there are two avenues here for Keane to start. Either that, or if O'Brien is injured for sure, then for sure you can get Keane and you will be confident that he will start.
Yeah, and I think the game that they have home against Southampton is it couldn't get any better, no?
That's
Like
all the attraction. Yeah.
if you're in draft and you have that extra defender spot and you want to take a gamble, like I mean, personally, I'd be keen on bringing him on board.
Yeah.
Just
Keane on Keane.
yeah, just to get him in, and the way the momentum is going, and I think Everton's at a spot where they can rest. They can rest their players. I think they have nothing to play for at this point. It would be a good potential sending off for Keane.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do like that. It's a very, very good shout.
Yeah, because they're running out of defenders. Now, just a heads up, they will play Seamus Coleman. He's a club legend, and he will maybe get the second half or the last 30 at right back. It's the farewell party at Goodison. So I feel like the center back position is more secure than the right back position. So let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. All right. Up next.
Yeah, this is a sneaky one, a cheeky one for me.
Okay.
Speaking of Bournemouth, I'm going for their captain, Adam Smith. Now,
Okay.
don't get me wrong, they play City away. I'm not shouting him for this game week. I have my eyes on the last game week ever because Bournemouth play Leicester at home, which is the best fixture on game week 38. So adding to that Ryan Christie got injured and Lewis Cook now is playing in the midfield. So the right back position is open for Adam Smith. Araujo can threaten him, but I don't think so because Smith is the club captain. So guys, you can keep him, bench him, and then start him on the last game
Or
against
38.
Leicester. Yeah.
All right. And the last one, which I always laugh at, always makes our way somehow. Makes his way into this, and we've had again. We've had some comments on Reddit, whether agreeing or disagreeing, is our main man, Harry Wilson.
Now, you guys, if you don't know me by now, you will know me. Like, I have my favorites. This guy is one of my favorites. So I watched the game against Everton because I had Ndai and McNeil. So he was shooting like crazy, man. Like, he was every 2 minutes, especially in the first half, shot from all over, outside the box, inside the box. He was so good. 8 attempts on target with 0.3 xG. 4 shot creating actions, 74 minutes. These are good stats. And Smith Rowe threatens, fails to flatter. And Iwobi has been off the boil for a while. So now it's Wilson and Jimenez. I feel like these two are the best two guys for Fulham right now.
Would you say that 8 shots with a 0.3 xG is a bit wasteful? Don't you think?
Yeah, but again, he was shooting from outside the box. A few of them were really good. Pickford made good saves. One sneaked just by the post. Yeah, a couple of them were just like he skied them. But he was a live wire, like an Energizer bunny. He was just at least dangerous, threatening. So this is why I like him.
Yeah.
Now, his last game he plays City at home. I wouldn't play him in that fixture. But next game is Brentford away. If anybody scores on Fulham, I expect it to be either Jimenez returning or Wilson returning. So that's my expectation.
Amazing. All right. Let's go to the final piece. We're gonna go through our own teams, our draft teams in the league, and we'll go through our potential changes and who we had as an opponent very quickly. JP, would you like to start?
Yeah, guys. So we just like to end the show with a little personal touch. These are our own teams in our own league. I was playing the first position in our league, and I was tied for third. And as you can tell, I did poorly because a lot of my guys play for Chelsea. I have Ahmad and I have Solanke. So 3 European Cup finalists, and they stunk the joint up. Chelsea were awful. Solanke didn't even play. United were awful. My only returns came from a Murphy assist and a McNeil assist, attacking-wise. Akanji, see the gamble paid off, thank God. And Coyote, we backed him. We backed Brentford against Ipswich away, and that was expected. But then Areola was a surprise return there. Away at United, he had a lot of saves, and he had 2 bonus points. So this is how my team did. Was it enough to beat the first position guy? The answer is sadly no.
That is, he had 8 or 9 returns.
Yeah, everybody.
For a nice 69 pointer week.
Yeah.
And that's why he's first, right? If you look at that, again, stacked up front. And when these guys hit, they go crazy. Because I faced him last week, and if you guys go back to the previous video, or first video on the channel, he had a lot of his guys blank. But this is what happens when this team clicks. I think only 3 players
blanking
did not. Yeah, they blanked. It's funny, even on his bench, he had Smith Rowe. He didn't blank either. This is a very, very impressive.
Yeah, just one of those days, everything went his way. Munoz went to Spurs away and dumped 11 points on them, assist and clean sheet and bonus. Bowen and Kudus rocked up to Old Trafford like it was their back garden, and they absolutely massacred them. Wood, another day, another goal. Watkins, just another day, another goal, and 3 bonus. So
I think they're combining for 41 goals now, I believe. An insane starting duo. Good enough to win your draft league.
So yeah, what can I say? Just we take the L and we move on. He's probably going to win the league. Congratulations to him. And we lick our wounds and we move on.
Amazing.
What about you, Doug? How did you do?
My week has been not a great week.
Shambhala.
29 points. We'll talk about how I actually did against my opponent. But this was a technical glitch on my part. I picked up Vandenberg when we spoke about Brentford, and then I completely forgot to put him in. But if you look at the team, Salah sleeping. He has been sleeping, drinking and celebrating, even though he doesn't personally drink. The league's over. Everything's wrapped. They're in Dubai right now having a great time. It's almost like you can take him out of my team and just call it a season. The rest, Bruno, again, kind of the same issues that you kind of had, but on a smaller scale. Bruno and Kulusevski, their mind is on Europa final. They're not there. Fabian Schär was a surprise, a pleasant one. Vardy was also a surprise. The thirst for Hurst, well, clearly we weren't thirsty. 27 points. 27 minutes, a beautiful 0 points to boot. Basically lost the 6 points coming on. The only bright spot was Martinelli, which if you looked at my team before the week started, that's probably someone you will probably maybe bench when you're facing Liverpool away.
Yeah.
But you look at this, and three players had any contribution out of 11. But this is the beautiful thing about draft. The beautiful
thing about
draft is...
Tell the people, did you win with 29 points?
That's the beautiful thing about draft is every game week is different, and every game week there's luck involved, but there's just a lot going on. I end up winning, and I faced. This is the week where you face the lowest. Like I was out of 10 players, I scored the ninth, ninth highest, second
Oh,
bottom,
come
and
on.
I
You
faced.
scored less than me and you won. You scored less than me.
That
You
is
won.
correct. Yes, I'd like to shout out Nicholas Jackson for leading the way. Actually, had he done absolutely nothing, at least my opponent would be very, very close to me. But the
Yeah.
reality is, he triple. He went on a Wolves rampage. He triple defended the Wolves against a shaky Brighton, who actually managed, to my surprise, to score 2 goals. And you could say that they're well back into it after having maybe I think 7 games where they couldn't score one.
Wait, was that a pun? Was that
Of course, they're
a
always
well back in it? Okay, good one. Good
um, that's I look at it. Yeah, that team is it's funny. There's four wearing yellow, and there's 2 more that are just yellow flags. It's just a team that maybe on a good day scores a lot of points, but I'm looking at it. He had only 2 returns, and this is, I guess, why it was still, unfortunately, a tight matchup. But all things considered, it was a good week, and we're getting towards. Well, to each their own, and we're just getting towards the end of the season, and we're gonna just we're finalizing the season, 2 more game weeks. Your thoughts, GP?
It's just the season is winding down. I don't know if people are still interested or not that interested. Let us know in the comments. Maybe your league is wrapped up. But if it's not wrapped up, I want to tell you guys, go hard. Don't give up. Make all the right decisions, hopefully. And God willing, you can sneak in first place.
Fantastic, guys. If you like this content, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments about any other players or your own just personal opinions for the game week. And we will be back next week with another video. Until
Yes,
then,
sir.
cheers.
Ciao, guys. Buenas noches. Good luck.
Take care, guys.